Okay, my friends, today we are starting your paper, income tax paper. So, when we talk about this income tax paper, it is a paper which is the basic provisions are governed as per Income Tax Act 1961. So, when we talk about this particular paper, this paper total grades are 6 credits, but if we talk about the mark system, so it is for 100 marks, and out of which 75 marks are external and 25 marks are internal. And the 25 marks, as per the earlier composition, used to be in form of the assignment, test, and attendance. But I will, because of the pandemic and the other things, the internal exams are not happening. So we are taking it in a form of assignments or presentations as such. But for your paper, I had planned that out of this 25 marks, we will be having two tests and one presentation, right? So these two tests when we'll take, and when we decide, so we'll communicate. But this 25 marks are internal. When we talk about this 75 marks, out of this 55 marks are for the final exam and 20 marks are for the practical. So when we'll discuss the course, so in this 55 marks there comes there used to be 11 mark question and 5 questions you were supposed to attempt, and this 20 marks have been devoted to e-filing practical. So earlier, this e-filing practical used to happen at college premises in the presence of the external examiner. But for last time, we have conducted it online only. So in one go, as the exam happens, we have given the questions to the students, and they had solved the practical, and they have submitted their files. So whatever way the circumstances will come, will go accordingly. And if we talk about the paper pattern, if it happens offline as per earlier mode, so there are going to be the pattern in terms of the 5 questions of 11 marks each, and basically it is a practical paper. So all the practical questions come, and in combination, somewhere we can say the combination for 2 mark or 3 mark a question can be the theory question. So there can be the question that for 8 marks there is a practical, for 3 marks there is a theory, or there are the two practical portions in combination of 7 or 8 marks, or there is the complete one full-fledged practical for 11 marks. So there used to be this combination, but as per your open book examination, you had to attempt the 4 questions, and the 4 questions weightage was there, equal weightage is there. So that will see how the things move, and which type of paper we have to attempt. But we have to prepare the complete course well, be it offline, be it the open book exam, because it's such a paper which will help you. Because if we say that any commerce graduate, if he is not aware of the basic concepts of the taxation, or even how you, it will help you to file your own return yourself, and even for your family members if you learn the concepts well. So the complete paper, when we talk about the practical question, and even if there is any theory question, so this theory question will require the concepts or the rules, and if you mention those concepts and the rules well, so you will get full-fledged marks. So there is no deduction in theory as such. So it's a scoring paper for 75 marks and 25 marks, 100 marks. And if I tell you that the open book exams which I have checked this time, so no, not even a single student could score full 55 marks. I don't know what was the problem, but my students for many years used to score 75 out of 75 number of students in this text paper. So if 25 are internal, that is again in your hands. And if we talk about the 20 marks e-filing practical, so out of 100 marks, 45 marks can be scored very easily, and remaining 55 marks also, If you attend the classes and practice the concepts regularly, then in that case you can score 100 out of 100 in text paper. So it's a very good, interesting paper. The only thing required is a little more efforts and regularity. That's it, right? So if we go as per this presentation, so as I have told you that the 100 marks are the internal. Second, let me take it down. Okay, so 100 marks are the total value, then 25 marks would be internal, 75 marks would be for external paper, and out of 75 marks there will be 20 marks for the your practical paper, that is from e-filing of returns. Now, if we talk about the course of income tax, earlier it used to be very lengthy and a lot many things were included. But now, because it has come introduced into the semester system and uh, things are more challenging, so they have reduced the syllabus and they have made it very comfortable. So the first unit is of the basic concepts. If we talk about the basic idea that why this paper we have to study, is that it will equip us with all the provisions of the law with respect to computation of the tax liability. So if we talk about the tax paper taxation, so there can be direct taxation, there can be indirect taxation. Indirect taxation means that the person who does not have the liability but the tax is paid by the other. Direct taxation is that a person under law is liable to pay tax on his own income. So the person who is earning the income is liable to pay the tax. So for that thing we have to understand a structure. जैसे हम accountancy में proper format, proper formulas और rules follow करते हैं, उसके अंदर हम देखते हैं कि कौन सी एंट्रीज हमारी डेबिट में आनी है, क्रेडिट में आनी है, and we know that why this particular accounting system is being followed, what are the accounting standards, concepts, conventions. We go so that we have the uniformity, we have the basis of comparison. We know that one quarter profits can be compared with the other quarter profits. So if we do not have the same lines or same rules, then how we are going to compare, how we are going to improve, how we are going to have this set system of the particular information. So for all these requirements, advantages, the it is required to follow a uniform system. So when we talk about the Income Tax Act 1961, it talks about the basic provision. So we'll discuss all these things. Just let me tell you about the syllabus first. That if we talk about the unit 1 talks about the basic concepts. Basic concepts में क्या आ जाएगा आपका, that in this particular case what are the basis or what are the common terminologies or the basic rules which we have to follow. Then after that there comes the unit 2, where we have to go for the computation of the tax liability. So as per the tax law, for having the uniformity in that particular situation, in that case what will happen, that we have to see that this computation is on the basis of under the different heads. So when we talk about the different heads, then in that case the uniformity कि 5 major categories में income को divide किया गया है. Because if we say that there are number of the items of income जहाँ से हमें return मिलता है, तो एक यूनिफॉर्म, जैसे हमारे अकाउंटेंसी में डिफरेंट कैटेगराइजेशन होता है, वैसे टैक्सेशन में भी हमारी एक यूनिफॉर्म बेसिस पे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट हेड्स के अंदर कंप्यूटेशन होता है. तो उन हेड्स ऑफ इनकम को हमें लर्न करना है. So these heads of incomes are the major things. So we have to understand. So different heads will form under the different chapters. So this will be covered under unit 2 and unit 3. So once the income is being learned in the different heads, तो उसको सम टोटल हम कर देते हैं. तो उस सम टोटल के और उन एडजस्टमेंट से रिलेटेड जो सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं वो आपके यूनिट 4 में आ जाते हैं. देन एज पर इनकम टैक्स लॉ, whatever income we are earning, we have to give the details to the income tax authorities. So that is known as filing of return. So whatever income I am earning from different resources, I have to give the details of that particular income to the income tax authorities. So that process, that procedure is known as filing of the return of income, and that particular process can be done manually and can be done online. So this online filing of return will be part of your practical, and also some part of the question or portion can come as theory as well. So now let's understand that how we go about it. First thing is that when we talk about the income tax paper, the basic legal provisions or the law which governs is Income Tax Act 1961. And we know that when with a particular law comes, so there are certain explanations and clarifications are needed, and these clarifications have been given under Income Tax Rules 1962. Then other area which governs is the, we say, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT. So all the rules, regulations, or if there are certain changes are required or some information is to be given, so Central Board of Direct Taxes is empowered to introduce those changes and the amendments. Other than this, you must have heard about the annual finance. So generally every year in the month of, earlier it used to happen in the month of March. Now it has shifted to in the month of February. Every year finance minister present the budget in the parliament. And when this particular budget is being approved by both the houses, it becomes the annual finance act. So this budget talks about that in which area the income will be generated, what will be the source of the public revenue, where the particular amount collected will be spent, where the expenditure will be there, how there is the proportion of the finance will be appropriated to the different areas. Along with this, there is the tax rules which are called as the direct tax or the income tax rates एंड एग्जाम्पशंस. तो अभी हम सिर्फ इन टर्म से अपने आप को फेमिलियर कर रहे हैं. डिटेल्स और द टेक्निकल थिंग्स वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस एट लेटर स्टेज. तो उस स्टेज पे हमारे जो इनकम टैक्स रेट्स हैं हर साल, बिकॉज इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द टाइप ऑफ इनकम्स वी यूज टू earn in 1960s, probably the form of income, the type of income is changed up to a greater extent. तो उस सिचुएशन के अंदर every year we have the different requirements. So what will be the different form of income, which income will be included in one head, what are the different kind of exemptions, what will be the tax rates for the present year. All these things are being finalized, decided in the budget, and when the particular things are approved all as it is presented in the budget, or after controversies any amendments changes are being made, so that comes as the annual finance act. So this we have to understand. Then I would like to write here one definition on the basis of which our chapter of basic concept will move. It says every person who has earned income in a financial year, we call it as previous year as per the tax terminology, is liable to pay tax as per prescribed rates given in Annual Finance Act. This tax will be computed as per income tax provisions applicable to the assessed. So let me tell you that when we talk about this definition, so it says every person who has earned income in a previous year. So it means that we have to understand, as per the income tax law, who is the person who is going to be taxed. Secondly, the person who has earned the income. So, what do we understand by the income as per the Income Tax Act? Then, in a previous year, so जो फाइनेंशियल ईयर जिसमें वो इनकम अर्न कर रहा है या जिसको हम प्रीवियस ईयर कह रहे हैं, वो क्या चीज़ है, हाउ वी डिटर्मिन द प्रीवियस ईयर, or is liable to pay tax as per prescribed rates given in Annual Finance Act. तो एनुअल फाइनेंस एक्ट के हिसाब से वो कौन से रेट्स है जो उस पर अप्लाई होंगे, एंड देन how this tax computation will be done. It will be done as per the tax provisions applicable to the assessee. तो assessee कौन है, जो टैक्स पे करने के लिए liable है. So this particular definition is going to take us to the the concepts or to the basic definitions which we have to understand in the first chapter. So I hope up till now it is clear that as per this particular paper, we have to understand the basic provisions given in the Income Tax Act 1961, any explanation if required as per the rules, then the what are the rules as per the rates as per the Annual Finance Act, then there is any notification or circular by CBDT, and also if there are certain judicial decisions. So if there has been any dispute on any of the concepts or any case law or suit has been filed and any decision has been given by the court of law, so the particular decision will apply on all the similar kind of situations and requirements, right? So we these are the basic areas which we have to understand. Then we have to see that we have to understand as per the first chapter that the definition of person, definition of assessee, definition of income, definition of previous year. Then we have to understand that what are the tax rates applicable and what are the related rules for the same. So these will be covered under the chapter 1 basic concept. So any query up till now? Yes, please.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So let's go further. So it's history of taxation. So I think it's just you can see the slide. No, even if we talk about the taxation, so if you talk about the olden times of Raja Maharaja, so they used to charge some amount in form of lagan for providing the services, and they used to announce at the end of the year that how much amount they have collected during the year and how much amount they have invested for the development of the state or for the development of the different people, etc. So it used to happen at that olden time as well. So now in the modern era, it has come or it exists as a system. So where it exists as a law, where we have the liability that if we are falling in the category, we are earning the income, we are falling in the tax slab, then in that case, if our income is not exempt, then we have to pay tax. So it is our legal liability. So this thing we have already discussed: Income Tax Act, Annual Finance Act, rules, CBDT, and judicial decisions. And this is not required. Let's move further. Okay. Now this definition talks about that this act determines which persons are liable to pay tax and in respect of which income. This particular section talks about that what are the different rules given, provisions under the Income Tax Act, and how we are going to use these provisions. Then I think we can directly come to the definition. Yeah. So if we talk about income tax, so first thing we come across the word income and the tax. So if we talk about the income, so income is as per the meaning of law. We have to understand the meaning of income. Then we have to understand the meaning of gross total income, gross total income. And the third form of income is we have to understand as the total income, which is also called as the taxable income. So if we talk about the definitions, so we have to understand that according to section 2 subsection 24, what do we understand by income. So we'll discuss in detail all the provisions, all the item. So if we in general talk about the income, so we say that income is that money which one person gets after putting some efforts or otherwise. So it as per meaning of if we talk about the accounting terminology or business terminology, we say that income needs to be regular. But as per the income tax provision, one person should get the income whether it is regular or it is one time, or it is we can say that even if it is that the regularity of transactions is not there, and even the source of income is not legal, then also it will be regarded as income. So we have to understand the meaning of income. And then we have the different heads of income which are classified into five. Let me share with you. When we talk about the income as per the income tax provisions, so the income is classified or taxed in five major heads. That is, first one is income from salaries. Second one is income from house property. Third one is profits and gains from business or profession. Fourth one is the capital gains. And the last one is income from other sources. It means that as per Income Tax Act, the income is divided into five major heads. That is income from salaries. So we have to, we are going to discuss it as a separate chapter. Then there is income from house property. If one owns a property and he has let out the property, then he is getting some income, rental income. That income is taxable. Similarly, if one is running a business or profession, then he is getting certain kind of profits or gains from that particular head of income. That is considered as income. Then capital gain is that if you have sold off some asset, so it's not a regular transaction. If suppose if a person is into the business of construction and selling the house property, then it would become under this head. If a person has let out the property, then the income will be taxed under this head. And if a person, suppose I have two houses and I have sold off one house and I have got some gain after selling the particular house, then it will be taxed under the head capital gains. So we have to understand that what are the basic requirements that a particular income will be computed, tax will be computed under a specific head. So as per law, the five heads of income are classified, and the income which is not covered under any of these four heads, or certain specific incomes are covered under the head income from other sources. So we say that the definition of income, आप सिंप्लीफाई करोगे तो इन पांचों हेड्स के तीन तीन चार चार एग्जाम्पल दे दोगे, तो आपकी डेफिनेशन टू अंडर सेक्शन 2 सबसेक्शन 24 की कवर हो जाएगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, in case of salary, you are getting salary, you are getting benefits, you are getting perquisites, you are getting retirement benefits, you are getting pension, you are getting profit in lieu of salary. तो उस उन एग्जाम्पल्स को हम कवर कर सकते हैं. दैट द इनकम एज पर द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट includes the following income. When we talk about the house property income, we say the rental income or let out income after letting out the particular property will be known as the income as per the income tax act. If we talk about the profits and gains, so we can say that any profit, any revenue which is derived from after entering into any of the activity will be known as the income. Dividend received from a company from investment is known as the income. Interest on deposits will be known as the income. Any profit selling of certain kind of assets will be known as income. So these, the income definition says, as per Income Tax Act, that income earned under the various heads, as well as it also says that there is no bifurcation in terms of income, whether it is regular or irregular, or from a sources disclosed or not disclosed, or after that we say that the income is from a legal source or illegal source. So in that situation, the income meaning or income definition is a broader definition as per the Income Tax Act. So is it clear? The meaning of income is clear to all of you? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now after the income meaning, when we say the meaning of income as a gross total income, so very simple definition, income earned under five major heads as per Income Tax Act is known as gross total income. So it is not required that a person is earning income from one source only. He can earn the income from more than one source as well. So if we make total of these heads, it will be known as gross total income. So we say that if Mr. A's income we are calculating, so we will see that how much income he is getting from salaries, how much income he is getting from house property, how much income he is getting from business or profession, any income, any asset he has sold in the previous year, or any income from other sources. So if he is an employee, he is getting the income from salary, but he has don't have any house property. He has never, even he is not into some business, but he has sold off one house in the previous year, and also he has certain savings on which he is getting the interest. So from all the heads of income, when we will make the total, this total will be known as the gross total income as per the income tax provisions, right? And when we allow the deductions under section 80 from this gross total income, then we will arrive at a figure of total income, which is also known as the taxable income. So these are the three definitions: meaning of income, meaning of gross total income, and meaning of total income or the taxable income. So that's it, you have to learn in this. Uh, then we move further to the concept of person. जैसे मैंने definition में बोला था that every person is liable to pay tax. So this is the total income calculation we have discussed, right? Then, when we talk about the definitions as per the basic concepts or as per the chapter, so we have to learn the definitions that every person who has the earned the income during the previous year. So we have to learn the definition of person. The person who is known as an assessee who is liable to pay tax. Then, what we understand by the assessment year, previous year, what is the scheme of assessment, what do we understand by the meaning of income, gross total income, and total income. So, this is not required. So, this is we have to learn in the definitions. So, let's discuss with the definition of person first, then we'll move to the assessee. Now, when we say every person is liable to pay tax, so what do we understand by the meaning of person? So, as per the provisions of Income Tax Act, that person can be an individual, that person can be HUF business, means is for the Hindu Undivided Act, the family business which is being run in the Hindu undivided family system, where Karta is the head of the family, is known as the Karta, who is the decision maker, and all the people taking birth in the family becomes the have got the right in the property of the business and the assets. So this is kind of the Hindu undivided family business. Then a company, particular business which is being run registered in form of a company, so company gets separate legal entity, and the income earned by the particular company will be known by the income of that particular company, so that company is liable to pay tax. Similarly, a firm, when registered or not registered but earning the income, then association of person, body of individual, local authority, every artificial judicial person, means कि किसी भी फॉर्म में आप एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हो, किसी भी फॉर्म में आपका बिजनेस एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है, पर अगर आपने इनकम अर्न करी ड्यूरिंग द प्रीवियस ईयर, you are liable to pay tax on the particular income as per the provisions of Income Tax Act. तो चाहे आप एज एन इंडिविजुअल एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हो, एज अ फैमिली बिजनेस एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हो, एज अ कंपनी फर्म, रादर आई शुड ऐड हियर LLP, then local authority, artificial judicial person. Now we have the association of persons and body of individual. Association of person means that individual के साथ firm या company ने कोई जॉइंट वेंचर कर लिया तो वो एसोसिएशन ऑफ पर्सन हो जाएगी. जहाँ पे एक से ज़्यादा इंडिविजुअल ने हैंड्स ज्वाइन कर दिए किसी बिजनेस या किसी एक्टिविटी को करने के लिए, तो वो बॉडी ऑफ इंडिविजुअल हो जाएगी. You must have studied in financial accounting, joint ventures, consignment, a different form of accounts. So where two or more people join hands together to do the business or to earn some money by doing some particular activity. So if the other than individual, they are joining hands, will be known as association of person, and if only individuals are joining hands for earning the income, would be known as body of individual. So ultimately, what the crux of the story is, that whatever form you exist, if you are earning the income, you will be defined as a person, and the definition of act says every person who has earned income during the previous year more than the maximum exemption limit is liable to pay the tax as per the current tax rates given in the Prescribed Finance Act, and the tax will be computed as per the provisions of Income Tax Act. So this is the story. So person means not only person, person means any form of person. So the definition of person, I hope, is clear to all of you. Right? So assessment year and previous year we'll discuss tomorrow. Let's discuss the meaning of assessee first. Now, we say every person is liable to pay tax. तो जो भी पर्सन इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटीज को टैक्स या कोई और मनी लाइबल है पे करने के लिए एज पर द इनकम टैक्स प्रोविजन, दैट पर्सन वुड बी नोन एज एन असेसी, right? So assessee is a person who is liable to pay tax or any other sum of money under this act. तो assessee को हम तीन फॉर्म्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. वन, द पर्सन जिसकी जो लाइबल है पे करने के लिए. टू, अगर उसने पे नहीं किया, उसकी लाइबिलिटी बनती है और उसके अगेंस्ट कोई भी प्रोसीडिंग्स चल रही हैं अंडर द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, द पर्सन वुड बी नोन एज असेसी. चाहे उसकी इस साल में कोई भी इनकम ना हो, वो लॉस में जा रहा हो, लेकिन पिछली कोई पेनल्टीज हैं या उसके अगेंस्ट कोई प्रोसीडिंग्स चल रही हैं, तो वो एसएससी कहलाएगा. सेकेंडली, किसी भी फॉर्म की पिछली आपकी लाइबिलिटी, इंटरेस्ट, पेनल्टी आपकी ड्यू है और आपने पे नहीं की है, then also you are liable to pay that. You will fall under the category of assessee. Thirdly, if a person is taking care of the business of other person and the person is responsible for certain other activities as well, so the same person is responsible for making the tax payment as well. So that person would be known as the representative assessee. So assessee definition would include assessee, representative assessee, and assessee in default. So every person is an assessee who is liable to pay tax or any other sum of money as per the Income Tax Act provisions. Right? Meaning of assessee is clear to all of you? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Then definition of gross total income we have already discussed. It is the total taxable income under all five heads before making deductions under section 80. तो फाइव हेड्स ऑफ इनकम कौन से हैं? यस प्लीज. कौन से फाइव हेड्स ऑफ इनकम डिस्कस किए अभी हमने क्लास में?
Income from salaries, income
राइट.
from house property, income from profit and gains under business and profession,
राइट.
and from capital gain, income from other sources.
Very good. So as per the law, income is divided or computed under five heads of income as discussed by Theerat. That income is income under the head salaries, income under the head house property, under the head business profession, capital gains, income from other sources. So अगर हम किसी भी एसएससी की इन पांचों हेड्स के अंदर इनकम को टोटल कर देते हैं, पर हम अभी उसके अंदर अंडर सेक्शन 80 या चैप्टर 6A की डिडक्शंस नहीं देते हैं, तो वो इनकम हमारी कहलाएगी ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम. और अगर ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम में से हम डिडक्शंस दे देते हैं अंडर सेक्शन 80C to 80U, then that income would be known as total income और टैक्सेबल इनकम. तो ये जो फाइनल फिगर होती है ना टोटल इनकम की, इसके ऊपर हम टैक्स कैलकुलेट करते हैं एज पर द एनुअल फाइनेंस एक्ट, जो भी हमारे टैक्स रेट्स एप्लीकेबल होती हैं. तो इस फिगर तक पहुंचने के लिए वी हैव टू pass a journey, or we can say that there is a ladder that how we move further. I would like to tell you the process that when we will be able to compute the tax liability. The very first step is the basic concepts, right? It's a kind of ladder that we have learned the basic concepts. Once we have learned the basic concepts, then we have to learn about the residential status of the assessee. Residential status क्यों required होता है, we'll discuss in the coming chapter. Once we're done with the residential status, we will have to learn several exemptions एंड डिडक्शंस, कि जब भी हम इनकम कंप्यूट करते हैं तो कौन कौन सी इनकम है जिसके ऊपर हमें टैक्स कैलकुलेट नहीं करना. सो वंस वी लर्न दैट, then we will learn the five major heads. The first head will be salary, second head would be income from house property, third head will be profits and gains from business and profession, then we'll have the capital gains, then we'll have the income from other sources. Once we have learned that, then we are going to make calculate the tax computation. और इस टैक्स कंप्यूटेशन को करने के साथ साथ वी हैव टू लर्न द डिडक्शंस अंडर सेक्शन 80. We need to learn about the set off and carry forward of losses, and then finally we will be able to file our return of income. So to come at this particular place, we have to go step by step. So if I today I say I start with that what is filing of return and how we have to go about it, you will not be able to understand anything until unless you know all these things. So you must have noted that I have given more space to the basic concepts and then more space to the residential status. So it means that that base should be strong and base should be clear, because whatever we are going to learn in the basic concept, चाहे वो पर्सन की डेफिनेशन है, चाहे वो आपका असेसमेंट ईयर है, प्रीवियस ईयर है, टैक्स रेट्स हैं, जो भी हम इसमें लर्न करेंगे, these things we are going to use at all the stages. So that's why we have to understand it in this particular form. Now after this I can share with you one document which is the university document, and which talks about your course which I have told you just now, so that you just can see once, and I will be sharing the chapter 1 PDF with you. One second. Yeah. Not able to share the screen, I don't know. Okay, fine, I just can read out for you the syllabus and I will share with you on Google Classroom itself that how this particular document talks about. This particular document talks about that the course learning outcomes are that we have to understand the basic concepts in law of income tax, then we have to determine the residential status, then we have to identify five heads of income which are categorized into salaries, house property, business profession, capital gains and income from other sources. Then we have to understand clubbing provision, that how the particular different incomes under earned by someone else can be clubbed in the income, then how we take the aggregation of income, how we take the deductions and exemptions, set off and carry forward of losses, and then how we finally file the return. So these are the course outcome which I have shared with you just now. Then after that, the course content of the topic is there, that a basic introduction unit 1, then unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, and all the details given in the we can say the guidelines or minutes of meetings I will be sharing, that under which particular category, which different forms, etc. we have to share, right? We have to discuss. So other than this, if you have any query in today's class you can ask. Just let me recapitulate what we have discussed today in today's class. Number one, we have made ourselves familiar with the course content of the paper, then the structure of the paper, then we have started with the basic concepts, and in the basic concepts we have made ourselves familiar with the concept of income, concept of gross total income, concept of total income, meaning of person, and meaning of assessee. And in next class, we will be discussing the concept of assessment year, previous year, and then furthermore the different tax rates as such. So if you have any query in today's class, the house is open for the discussion and you can discuss your queries.